And in today's session for Fundamentals of Management, we are going to study the Maslow theory of motivation. Maslow has developed a conceptual framework for understanding human motivation, which was widely acclaimed. He defined a person's effectiveness as a function of matching person's opportunity with the appropriate position of hierarchy of needs. Process of motivation begins with an assumption that behavior, at least in part, is directed towards the achievement or satisfaction of needs. Maslow proposed the human needs can be arranged in a particular order from lower to higher in the hierarchy. And if you see this slide, an overview about the background of A.H. Maslow has been discussed. He was a physiologist, believed that all people have needs to be satisfied and they will work towards satisfying those needs. He also proposed this theory in his paper, A Theory of Human Motivation in 1943. Thus, Maslow's theory of needs proposes that people are motivated by multiple needs and these needs exist in a hierarchical order. The essential components of this theory may be stated as: adults' motives are complex. No single motive determines behavior, rather a number of motives operate at the same level. Secondly, needs from a hierarchy. That is, lower level needs must at least partly be satisfied before higher level needs emerge. In other words, a higher order need cannot become an active motivating force until the preceding lower need is essentially satisfied. Next assumption is a satisfied need is not a motivator. By this, we can say that a need that is unsatisfied activates seeking behavior. If a lower level need is satisfied, a higher level need emerges. Higher level needs can be satisfied in many more ways than the lower level needs. Next assumption is that people seek growth. They want to move up in the hierarchy of needs. No person is content at the physiological level. Usually people seek the satisfaction of higher order needs. And lastly, I can say that human beings are influenced by deprivation, motivation, gratification cycle, which is almost all the time. If you see the diagram, which states the Maslow hierarchy of needs, the first layer of needs is the physiological needs, which are followed by safety needs. Then comes the social needs, that is the needs for love and belongingness. Then comes the esteem needs, and the highest in the hierarchy is the self-actualization needs. So let's discuss these needs one by one. The first one is basic needs or the physiological needs. The needs that are taken as the starting point of the motivation theory are called the physiological needs. These needs are related to the survival and maintenance of human life. They include things like food, clothing, shelter, air, water, and other necessities of life. Next are the set of needs which are called safety and security needs. After satisfying the physiological needs, people want the assurance of maintaining a given economic level. They want job security, personal security, security of source of income, provision for old age, insurance against risk, and so on. These are the needs to remain free from external dangers of war, destruction, and internal dangers like losing a job, maintaining standards of physiological needs, and so on. The next comes the social needs. Man is a social being. He is therefore interested in conversation, sociability, exchange of feelings, grievances, companionship, belongingness, and so on. While working in a formal structure of authority, responsibility relationships, he develops affection and respect for superiors and fellow members. He develops need for acceptance, belongingness with others, and becomes a part of informal group in the organization. The next set of needs is esteem and status needs. These needs embrace this next set of needs is the esteem and status needs. Esteem needs are of two types, self-esteem and esteem for others. Self-esteem needs include those for self-confidence, achievement, competency, self-respect, knowledge, and for independence and freedom. Esteem of others includes reputation, status, recognition. Satisfaction of esteem needs produces feeling of self-confidence, worth, strength, capability, adequacy of being useful and necessary in the world. They are concerned with the prestige and status of the individual. And the last set of needs are the self-actualization needs. These are the needs for realizing one's full potential and self-fulfillment. Self-fulfilling people are rare individuals who come close to living up to their full potential for being realistic, accomplishing things, enjoying life, and generally amplifying classic human virtues. Self-actualization is the desire to become what one is capable of becoming. For example, a musician must make music, a poet must write, a general must win battles, an artist must paint. What a man can be, he must be. Self-actualization is growth need. Self-actualization needs have certain common features. For example, the specific form that these needs take will vary greatly from person to person. Self-actualization is not necessarily a creative urge. The way self-actualization is expressed can change over the cycle. Also, these needs are continuously motivational. These needs are psychologically in nature and are substantially infinite. And lastly, we can say the conditions of modern life give only limited opportunity for these needs to obtain expressions. Now, coming to the last part of this Maslow's theory, we need to discuss the limitations of the theory. Maslow's need hierarchy has application to the lower levels or the low workers in a country like India, where the basic needs of the workers are not satisfied. It points out the people are motivated by unfulfilled needs. It also postulates that as lower level needs are fulfilled, upper level needs replace them. This Maslow's theory seems to be a very simple description of the complex process of motivation of human beings. Thus, to list the limitations of this theory, we can say that, number one, every individual may have different need hierarchy which may not follow the sequence suggested by Maslow. For instance, an individual may have social and egoistic needs even though his safety needs is not satisfied as yet. Secondly, it is wrong to presume that only one need is satisfied at one time. Man's behavior at any point of time is mostly guided by multiple motives. However, one or two motives in any situation may be prevalent, while others may be secondary in their importance category. Moreover, at different levels of needs, the motivation will be different. The third limitation can be stated is that money can act as a motivator only for physiological and social needs and not satisfying higher level needs. Employees are enthusiastically motivated by what they are seeking more than by what they already have. They may react cautiously in order to keep what they already have, but they move forward with enthusiasm when they are seeking something else. In other words, many workers for bread alone as something else. The next point or the limitation can be there are always the next limitation is there are always some people in whom the need for self-esteem seems to be more prominent than that of love. There are some creative people in whom the drive for creativeness seems to be more important. In certain people, the level of operation may be permanently low. For instance, a person who has experienced chronic unemployment may continue to be satisfied for the rest of his life if only he can get enough food and clothes. Another another cause of reversal of need hierarchy is that when a need has been dissatisfied has been another cause of reversal of need hierarchy is that when a need has been satisfied for a long time, it may be undervalued. Next limitation is it is doubtful that once a need is satisfied, it loses its motivating force. It is also doubtful that satisfaction of one need automatically activates the next need. Some person will not aspire after their lower order needs have been satisfied. And the last limitation can be the needs are not only determinant of human behavior. People may People may engage in behaviors that are in no way concerned with satisfaction of their needs. In practice, the behavior is influenced by needs, expectations, perceptions, and so on. It is also influenced by cultural background of the people. So these were some of the limitations of Maslow's need theory. These were some of the limitations of Maslow's need hierarchy theory.